It's DWYANE Gambino coming to you with another reaction. Now we got these fat motherfuckers, bro. I can never, yo. I'm not gonna lie. I used to almost be 300. I was 300, almost 300 at one point, bro. I couldn't let myself get there, man. Couldn't. I'm like 210 now, 205, bro. I couldn't. Feel me? Just give me anxiety just thinking about this shit. Look at it. I can't have two chins and just wanna gobble more, bro. Fuck.
Reality shows are all about the drama, and
Oh
while
my
TLC's
God,
My 600-Pound Life has plenty of that, the show that follows morbidly overweight patients on their weight loss journeys also has a certain cringe factor. From uncomfortable scenes in people's homes to patients being called out for their lies, here are 10 of the most awkward moments on My 600-Pound Life. A lot of people on the show are unable to take care of themselves, let alone their household. So some of the homes shown are not in the best condition, and in a few cases, the camera crew and the producers were even exposed to outright filthy conditions. According to one cameraman who worked on the show, some of the apartments and houses they filmed in were so dirty that bugs would be crawling all over the place. He claimed that they once filmed at a home where their family would put plants on top of the dog poop in the small 2-bedroom apartment rather than cleaning it up. It was no surprise then that even the bed was in the worst condition in this home, with thousands of bugs scattering out from under the mattress when they lifted it up upon moving. Although we don't see the film crew's reaction to being confronted with these conditions, you can imagine that it must be pretty awkward to film the people and the homes they live in if they look anything like that.
Oh, that's nasty. That's nasty.
Husband and wife duo Alan and Vianney went
bugs everywhere. You put dog shit, the pot flour on the dog shit, fam. That's kind of dirty, lazy. That's a sin. That's a sin. That's a sin. That's dirtiness. That's dirtiness.
The show in season 7 to embark on a weight loss journey together. 4 months after first talking to Dr. Now via video chat, the couple moved down to Houston, having promised to lose some weight before that. But unsurprisingly, things didn't look too good during the first weigh-in. Although Alan was the more mobile one of the two, he was heavier than his wife and even admitted to the camera that he was regularly cheating on their diet whenever he went to run errands. As you would expect, this ended up preventing him from meeting his weight loss goal at the next appointment, which meant that his wife was the only one who got approved for gastric bypass surgery. This led to a rather awkward moment when Alan remarked that he was glad Vianney was approved because he wanted her to have her
he wanted his bitch to be skinny. He wanted to have the skinny, sexy bit while he be big and fat and unhealthy.
Have the surgery first, and Dr. Now was quick to point out that he was glad Alan felt that way since he wasn't approved after losing just 28 pounds instead of 50. 33-year-old Maja Radonovic was so big that every morning she woke up, she was thankful her body hadn't given out during the night. She was close to being completely bedridden, so she decided to tackle her weight issues. However, Maja's weight loss slowed down following her and her boyfriend Christian's move to Houston. And since she had only lost 9 instead of the requested 50 pounds in a month, Dr. Now decided to cancel her weight loss surgery. In addition to receiving this bad news, it turned out that Christian was apparently not fully supportive of Maja's weight loss journey anymore, which resulted in her throwing a temper tantrum. When confronted about not answering Dr. Now's question, Christian simply replied that he had answered questions in the past and had the right to take a day off, which prompted Maja to blame him for her failure to meet Dr. Now's goal. She then called her mother to complain and basically tell on Christian while crying like a small child.
You're leaving her boyfriend.
At her first appointment, Ashley T was lighter than most patients on the show, weighing in at only 480.
This bitch? No, she got that big?
At her first appointment, Ashley T was lighter than most patients on the show, weighing in at only...
Yo, this girl was on Catfish. She got that big?
486 pounds.
Bro, she got like that after Catfish. She was not this big on Catfish.
Was pretty happy with that since she had apparently last weighed in at 630 pounds, but lost weight due to being depressed after her grandmother's death, as she informed Dr. Now. Since that is not something that the bariatric surgeon sees very often, he was a little suspicious and decided to ask a few more questions. Ashley then told him that she spent most of her day watching TV and talking to her friends on social media, before starting to laugh and clarifying that she also likes to catfish people. Some of you might have realized at this point that Ashley was actually featured on the MTV show Catfish more than once and apparently didn't learn from her mistakes. Dr. Now was obviously unimpressed with the information he received, and since Ashley had been avoiding eye contact the entire time, he eventually asked her straight out if she was a pathological liar. Being called out on your behavior is usually pretty awkward, but Ashley simply claimed that she was nervous, which Dr. Now didn't seem to believe, however. 22-year-old Sienna Collins was surely one of Dr. Now's most challenging patients and seemed unwilling to really change her life. She started out at 659 pounds, but apparently kept losing her diet plan, and instead of calling Dr. Now to ask for a new one, she decided to wing it, saying that she hoped to lose as much weight as she was supposed to with the help of her cousin and caretaker. Unsurprisingly, this didn't really work out, and by the time she finally made it back to the clinic, she had only lost 1 pound. Unlike most people on the show, Sienna didn't even bother to make up excuses and outright stated that she hadn't put any effort into it. After going home with a new goal, Sienna struggled even more as her life turned upside down when her mom and her cousin moved. When she finally managed to make the move to Houston, she had miraculously lost Dr. Now's diet plan once again and ended her episode weighing 2 pounds more than she had in the beginning. At this point, the bariatric surgeon had had enough of her excuses and told her that she should continue her psychotherapy and come back when she was serious about changing her life.
That's fine.
In season 7 of the show, we met 38-year-old Holly who weighed over 600 pounds. She had been overweight since she could remember and had been struggling with depression since her teen years after being raped at the age of 16. At 30 years old, Holly weighed around 600 pounds and decided to get her stomach stapled to turn her life around. Although she managed to get down to 398 pounds within the next 2 years, she then started eating more again, busted the staples and got back to the 500s within just a year. Now nearly 40 years old, Holly weighed 658 pounds and had to start her weight loss journey all over again. After a hard trip to
Oh, they eat. They eat it good though. You can tell one thing about Falcons, they eat good. They eat good. They eat good like a motherfucker.
This is just over $32,000. This is exactly how much money I made last month.
Houston, and moving into a new apartment, Holly and husband Ray still hadn't managed to get pots and pans about a week later, preventing them from preparing their own meals. Because of that, the couple ordered in a lot of takeout, and while Holly claimed to be trying to make healthy choices when ordering food, she absurdly enough ordered egg rolls because they had veggies in them. Unsurprisingly, she didn't meet her weight loss goal by the next appointment, losing just 18 pounds instead of 50, and making Dr. Now wonder if chocolate was more important to her than living. Brothers David and Benji Bolton started their joint weight loss journey at a combined weight of 1,329 pounds, with David being the bigger one of the two at a whopping 747 pounds. Despite some struggles, both brothers ultimately got their weight loss surgery and had each lost over 660 pounds by the end of their episode. However, in the Where Are They Now update, we saw that even though Benji had made a lot of progress since appearing in season 6, he had started gaining again. During an appointment with Dr. Now, we found out that over the last few months, Benji had gained 27 pounds, going from 218 pounds up to 245, and the doctor was obviously not pleased. He suggested that Benji should start psychotherapy, but his patient felt like it was more important for him to get skin removal surgery as soon as possible. Dr. Now's reply was as savage as it was awkward when he saw him ask Benji if he had a medical degree the surgeon didn't know about. He had already made it pretty clear that he didn't approve of Benji's confidence when his patients told him he was fine despite gaining some weight, and he was obviously not going to approve his patient for the next surgery while things were going downhill. Every episode of my 600-pound life includes a bathroom scene, which is uncomfortable enough in itself. But for 23-year-old Nicole Lewis, things were made a lot more embarrassing by the fact that she couldn't even fit through the door of her bathroom. At nearly 700 pounds, she was too big to take care of her 2 kids and had to rely on her mother and her longtime boyfriend Charlie for help with the kids and with everyday tasks such as washing herself. Because she was unable to fit through the bathroom door, Nicole had to use a portable toilet located in her own room and needed Charlie to help her wash herself on the back porch. Fortunately, Dr. Nowzardian was able to help her very motivated Nicole lose weight, and she eventually managed to turn her life around and has since been documenting her continued weight loss journey on social media.
That's good. That's good.
When we first met Anjanette in season 7, she weighed a staggering 679 pounds and had to rely on girlfriend Erica to help her with pretty much everything. Despite claiming to be motivated, Anjanette only lost 33 pounds instead of 140 pounds until her second appointment with Dr. Now. And even though she did better the next time and got approved for surgery, she soon started gaining weight again. When the bariatric surgeon confronted her about gaining 15 pounds, his patient naively tried to blame her weight gain on fluid in her body, but Dr. Now obviously wasn't fooled. He reminded her that she had come to Houston to save her life and that the approval for surgery didn't mean she could just go back to eating 7,000 calories per day. He then told her she had to undo the damage she'd done on top of losing the 50 pounds that she was supposed to in order to get approved for surgery. And Anjanette luckily got back on track by the end of her episode.
That's good, that's good, that's good. You gotta commend those.
Dr. Now is well known for calling patients out on their BS, and he won't accept any lame excuses. So things got a little uncomfortable when he confronted Joyce about gaining a lot of weight in the last 6 weeks and her nearly non-existent activity. She claimed she was doing everything she was supposed to and that her eating habits were really great. But apparently her lymphedema and having to sit up a lot during the car ride to Dr. Now's office.
Oh, you can tell your skin, people are loofies out here.
Had magically added 60 pounds of water weight to her body. The bariatric surgeon was having none of that and made it pretty clear that Joyce wouldn't live much longer if she kept up her shenanigans. Unwilling to face this reality, Joyce got all worked up, saying she felt dizzy and thought she might be having a heart attack, to which Dr. Now simply replied that she didn't look like she was. To convince him, Joyce then decided to dramatically flop her head over to the side, and Dr. Now dryly noted that now she did look like she was having a heart attack. While this was a pretty hilarious moment for viewers, it was pretty awkward for Joyce, as well as the people who had come to the appointment with her for support.
Thank you for checking this video.
That was crazy. She tried to finesse the system. She got cheese and said, yo, I'm having one. That's Yo, you guys feel in the comment section. Hey man, if you feel overweight, you feel like you have a weight problem or anything, you can start any day. It starts now. I'm starting next week. I'm starting tomorrow. I'm start as today now. You do it. See, day by day, day by day. Take it day, alright? In the comment section, please go. Get some requests, hit me on my gram.
Got me like a rich bitch, limp dick, put it on your daughter and she still called a nut. Patty cake, gotta know your bitch like Johnny K. ATL pull up in roller skates, or lights on like a library.